Chapter 4 Free Falling. Breakfast with the Knights was an amazing experience. I had friends on Earth, but they were temporary. They'd continuously blow me off and make some sort of excuse. But with the Knights, I felt like I'd known them my entire life. Lisa's so funny, even though her flirting made me uncomfortable. Jean is so wise and sensitive. Kaya, despite being a playboy, has a big heart. And Amber is like a burst of sunshine with her infectious energy. After breakfast, the Knights D-Luke and I go our separate ways. In the exchange back at the restaurant, I can sense that D-Luke has some sort of tension between not just Kaya, but the other Knights. Hey, D-Luke, I say as we head back to the training grounds. Why aren't you friendly with the other Knights? He keeps his gaze ahead, his expression unreadable. For a moment, I wonder if he's going to ignore the question entirely. But after a few seconds, he exhales softly, his tone calm, yet distant.
It's complicated.
I raise an eyebrow, not satisfied with the vague response. Complicated how? He glances at me, and I can see the conflict in his eyes. Part of him clearly doesn't want to get into it, but another part seems like it's weighing how much to tell me.
Let's just say I don't agree with how the Knights operate. I prefer to handle things my way.
But the Knights seem like they're all about protecting Mondstadt. Wouldn't that be the same goal as yours?
The goal might be the same, but the methods aren't. They have their rules, their bureaucracy. Sometimes those things get in the way of what really needs to be done.
He stretches his neck as he walks.
It's kind of like what you said about free will. The Knights always have one way of doing things, regardless of the outcome.
His tone becomes bitter, as if I had struck a chord by bringing up this conversation.
They follow protocol to a fault. It's not always about what's right. Sometimes it's about what's easy. That's where we differ. I'd rather do what needs to be done, even if it means breaking a few rules.
His words resonate with me, as I've been in his shoes before. I know what you're talking about. I look at the ground as I ruminate on my religious trauma. He says nothing. When I was on Earth, I was an outcast. I was raised a certain way, but I felt like my family's traditions didn't reflect my identity. Still silence. We have something called religions, and they are a set of...
I'm vaguely familiar with the concept.
He interrupts, his tone cold.
I don't know the specifics, but I know enough.
Right. I continue, feeling a bit thrown off. So, my parents follow certain customs from religion that I've found too demanding. Emotionally, socially. To be considered a good person, you had to follow these rules, even if you didn't agree with them. I bite my lip. Needless to say, I distanced myself from those beliefs and adopted a different religion. One with negative connotations, but for all the wrong reasons.
What kind of religion?
It's called Satanism, I begin. Satan is a figure that is prominent amongst most Earth religions, but is perceived as an evil entity. But he really isn't. His brow furrows slightly, clearly intrigued, but unsure.
That doesn't make sense. Why name your religion after an evil figure?
He's more of a symbol for human desires and temptations. In most stories, he approaches people in difficult situations and offers them something they deeply want. Whether it's food, shelter, or love. But there's always a catch. A consequence for giving in.
Sounds pretty evil to me.
I shake my head. Satan, in this context, represents self-indulgence. Fulfilling your own needs and desires isn't something to be ashamed of, as long as it doesn't hurt others. It's about enjoying life, not denying yourself. We make a detour. It seems that D-Luke is curious about what I have to say. Take the Knights and their strict rules, for example. You've mentioned you don't follow the code. I pause, watching his expression, then continue. In Satanism, we believe that's fine. We value being true to who you are, even if it means breaking away from social expectations.
So, it's about rejecting authority that doesn't align with your beliefs?
Exactly. It's not about causing harm or rebelling just for the sake of it. It's about questioning the systems that try to confine you and finding your own path. He stays quiet, his gaze distant for a moment, as he processes what I said. We also have other important values, like taking responsibility for your actions and knowing the difference between indulgence and self-destruction. A small smile tugs at the corner of his lips.
Huh. I guess I'm a Satanist. Just don't expect me to start preaching it at the tavern.
Fair enough. With the tension from earlier being eased, we continue our walk in comfortable silence. Soon, the familiar sight of the training grounds comes into view. Luke stops for a moment, glancing at me.
You ready to continue your training?
I exhale, giving a small, nervous smile. As ready as I'll ever be.
Good. Now focus. We're going to continue where we left off.
He replies dryly. I swallow hard, nodding quickly. Hopefully I'll do better this time. He watches me for a moment, as if gauging my determination, then steps into position. His movements are fluid and precise. Pivots, sidesteps, weight shifts. And I can't help but feel a pang of insecurity. He makes it look so easy, and I feel like I'm never going to move that way.
Your movement is everything. Relax your shoulders, keep your feet parallel, and don't lock your knees.
He reminds me. I take a deep breath, focusing on his instructions. I step into position and attempt the sequence. Pivot, shift, step. It's clumsy at first, but this time I don't trip over my own feet. My movements are awkward, but I'm staying upright at least. He observes my form closely.
Let's focus on the stance for now. Relax, it's just practice. We're not sparring. Yet.
Isn't this training though? I ask. A faint smirk tugs at his lips.
Training, yes. But I'm not a complete sadist. I'll save the real torture for later.
Right! Another 10 laps tomorrow. I try to loosen up, remembering all the techniques I've learned in ballet class back when I was in high school. How's this?
Better. Now let's add some movement. Take it one step at a time.
I shift my weight, carefully following his instructions. Pivot, step, shift. This time, the movements feel a little smoother, though they're far from perfect.
Good. Keep your balance. Don't rush.
He says, watching closely. I focus harder, taking it slow. My steps are still cautious, but with each repetition, they feel a little less clumsy. My heart races, but this time, it's more from effort than anxiety.
You're improving.
He says after a while, and despite his usual stoic tone, there's a hint of approval in his voice.
But don't get too comfortable. We're just getting started.
He tosses me a practice sword, and it falls to the ground. I nervously laugh. I crouch to pick it up. Damn! This thing is heavy!
What do you think swords are made of? Feathers?
No, but something lighter at least. This is at least 10 pounds. I attempt to swing the sword, but I end up pulling a muscle in my arm. Ow! He seems amused by how pathetic I am.
If this is already too much, then we have a lot of work ahead.
Isn't there a lighter option?
Since the sword's too much for you, let's start with something simpler.
I raise an eyebrow, unsure if I should be relieved or worried. Simpler? He points to a distant hill, or, more accurately, a mountain in the distance.
We'll start with the climb. Go up and down the hill a few times, without stopping.
I blink, staring into the horizon. You want me to climb that? Are you gonna start singing I'll Make a Man Out of You or something? He doesn't react. Right, I gotta stop making pop culture references. Never mind. Just an Earth joke. He shakes his head but also tries not to laugh.
First mooing, now random singing. You Earth people are strange.
I tense up, feeling my face heat like a tsundere anime girl. Will you stop? I was nervous!
You certainly have a unique way of showing it.
Huh, I'll show you unique. Just wait until I actually survive your ridiculous training!
Then you better start climbing.
We reach the base of the mountain. My confidence wavers as I look up. It's massive. I gulp, feeling my stomach knot. How big is this mountain? He shrugs.
About 20 feet high.
I raise an eyebrow. And this is supposed to be light training.
You couldn't hold the sword, so I thought we work on strength training.
I was expecting lifting weights or push-ups. Not this! Ugh, I have a wand, you know? Why couldn't I use that to train with?
You can't fight with a wand if you don't know any magic. As for push-ups, don't worry. We'll do that next.
He pats my shoulder as if he's trying to be encouraging.
Now climb.
I stare at him, narrowing my eyes. You're enjoying this, aren't you?
I'm starting the timer.
With one last exhale, I place my hands on the rocks, bracing myself for what's to come. Not only was the exercise itself causing anxiety, but my fear of heights wasn't helping. I've never rock climbed in my life. Well, aside from those practice courses and playgrounds when I was a kid. Trying to ease my nerves, I start humming the tune from Mulan as I place my foot on the rock. Let's get down to business, I murmur under my breath. I take another step, carefully shifting my weight. For a moment, I feel a sliver of confidence. Maybe I could do this after all. But then, I feel the dirt crumble below me. Ah, shit. I'm not even a foot above the ground. And I slip and tumble in D-Luke's arms. Ah! I glare at him and sarcastically remark, "Oh, my hero."
Don't get used to it.
I groan and pull out of his grasp. You're mean.
I prefer realistic.
You're a real asshole, that's for sure.
I haven't heard of that one before.
Why does he have to be so cute and yet a complete shithead? I sigh, glancing back at the rock wall. Great, I still have to climb this stupid thing. Without waiting for another remark from him, I square my shoulders and set my hands back on the rocks. One step at a time, I grumble, more to myself than him. D-Luke crosses his arms, watching me with that same infuriating calm expression.
Let's see if you can make it more than a foot this time.
I shoot him a glare but say nothing. Instead, I take a deep breath and start climbing again, determined not to give him the satisfaction of catching me twice. I was able to make it off the ground, but a third of a foot. Success! Keep moving. Once again, gravity pulls me down as soon as I move my foot. And this time, as I fall, D-Luke moves out of the way. Ah! Oh! There's a scrape on my knee as I wince. He looks down at me.
You know, I won't be here every time you fall.
This is ridiculous. Even if I manage to climb higher, I just end up falling and dying anyways.
You're the Celestial Archon. You can't die.
I roll my eye, the sting of the scrape not helping my mood. Yeah, well, immortal or not, I'd still rather not become a pancake.
Who knows? Maybe you'll be the Pancake Archon. That'd be a first.
If anyone's the pancake Archon, it's you! All that brooding must have flattened your personality.
Are you going to climb? Or should I pour some syrup on you as well?
I can't tell if you're flirting with me or insulting me. He crosses his arms.
Just climb.
The sun starts to set and I spent the entire day falling. My whole body hurts, and I'm covered in bruises and scratches. Every muscle aches and I feel like someone beat the shit out of me. Ugh, well, we've accomplished nothing. I groan, feeling like giving up. I collapse on the ground, staring up at the sky. D-Luke glances down at me, his arms still crossed, but his expression softens just slightly.
You didn't give up. That's something.
He pauses, smirking.
And you've certainly mastered the art of falling.
Great. I mutter. He gives me his hand and helps me on my feet.
Let's call it a day, shall we? I have to go back to the tavern. You're free to roam Mondstadt if you like.
He suggests. Sure. I nod, relieved and exhausted. As we part ways, I wince with every step. I need to find some pain relief. I roam the streets and eventually find a quaint pharmacy. I go inside. The soothing scent of herbs fills the air and the place is lined with jars, potions, and remedies I can even begin to recognize. Behind the counter stands a man in a purple midriff with long green hair tied back in a low ponytail. He glances up as I approach.
Hello. How can I help you?
Yeah. I start trying to be casual despite the pain shooting through my entire body. You wouldn't happen to have ibuprofen, would you? He blinks, his calm expression shifting slightly.
Ibuprofen?
I laugh awkwardly, realizing how out of place the request sounds here. Right. It's this earth medicine for pain relief? His eyes widen slightly.
You're from Earth.
He adjusts his glasses and studies me closely, recognition flashing in his gaze.
Ah, yes. You look like the celestial Archon.
That's me, I mutter. Look, I just fell off a mountain about 1,000 times. Do you think you can give me something?
Of course. But first, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Baiju, the owner of this pharmacy. And this
He nods toward the small, pale girl standing beside him.
is Chi-Chi. She helps me with everything around here.
I glance down at Chi-Chi, who appears to be no older than 8. Despite her youth, she appears distant. Her expression almost blank. She stares at me for a moment before blinking slowly.
Hello, I'm Chi-Chi. I remember. You're the Celestial Archon.
Nice to meet you, I say warmly. The girl blinks again, tilting her head slightly.
I help. I remember to help.
There's something a little off about her. Like, she's disconnected from everything around her. I push the thought aside, still smiling. She seems sweet, and I want to be as friendly as possible. You're doing great, I reassure her, my voice gentle. Even though I can't quite place what feels strange, I want her to know she's doing just fine. Baiju watches with a soft smile before turning back to me.
You've certainly had quite a journey already, haven't you? From Earth to Tevat. It must be overwhelming.
I mean, I was just your average person. Didn't exactly plan on waking up as a divine figure in a whole other world. The girl tilts her head the other way.
Maybe you should write that down, in case you forget.
I pause for a second, caught off guard by the unexpected remark. Baiju chuckles softly at her comment, clearly used to her peculiar humor. I grin, shaking my head. Noted. I'll be sure to keep a diary.
I have a notebook. I write things down so I don't forget. I could lend you a page.
Her blank expression is so serious I can't help but laugh. That might actually come in handy. She disappears into the back room for a moment and returns, holding a tiny notebook in her hand, no bigger than her palm. She carefully rips out a single sheet and hands it to me.
Here.
I'm not sure how to respond, so I give her an awkward smile. Thanks.
You're welcome. But if you forget to use it, you'll have to write that down too.
This girl's a kick. You're right. She hands me a tiny pen to go with the sheet of paper, and I decide to play along. Remember, use a notebook in case you forget. You are an art. I pause, glancing down at the small paper, realizing I've run out of room.
You ran out of space.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll have to abbreviate that part.
Maybe. Just write. You are God.
Baiju, who has been watching this exchange, clears his throat.
Now, before you get too lost in your notes, let's address that pain you mentioned.
He moves towards the shelves, selecting a small bundle of herbs and placing them in a delicate cloth bag.
These herbs should help ease your muscle aches. Brew them in hot water and drink it slowly. You'll feel relief within an hour.
Thanks, both of you. I'll definitely try to avoid climbing any more mountains for a while. My voice mutters as I know I have to do the same thing tomorrow.
Why were you climbing a mountain? That sounds dangerous.
Chi-Chi asks. I shrug. Gotta learn strength and endurance somehow. The pharmacist raises an eyebrow, looking concerned and yet amused.
I can think of safer ways to build strength.
You should try walking on flat land.
Noted. I'll keep my training to flatter surfaces when I can. I put the herbs in my pocket and turn for the exit. Thanks again. It's been nice meeting you. Baiju waves.
Take care of yourself. Safe travels, and remember to pace yourself.
Try not to fall off any more mountains.
Chi-Chi adds. I step outside, the night's still young, and I start thinking about what to do next. I walk down the quiet streets of Mondstadt. My feet carry me without much thought. The cool breeze feels nice against my skin, but the silence of the city makes me restless. I've gotten used to the constant hum of electronics, the buzz of a phone or a random video playing in the background. Here is just quiet. Too quiet. Around a corner, lost in thought when I nearly collide with someone coming from the opposite direction. Oh! Sorry about that!
That's all right.
A familiar voice says. We make eye contact and I realize it's Amber.
Oh, Kayla! How was your training with D-Luke?
She scans my body and notices the various bruises and scrapes.
Wow, you look like you really took a beating.
She remarks, her tone light but a little concerned. Yeah, D-Luke's idea of training is apparently trying to turn me into a mashed potato. And trust me, I'm halfway there, I reply. She crosses her arms.
D-Luke should know better. You're new at this.
Honestly, I think he's just waiting to see if I'll end up being a damsel in distress. Maybe that's his way of picking up chicks. She bursts out laughing.
If that's the case, he sure has a strange way of showing it.
Her expression turns to something more serious and reassuring as she places a hand on my shoulder.
You're stronger than you think, and you'll get the hang of it. Just take it one step at a time. And hey, if D-Luke pushes too hard, I've got your back.
Her reassurance makes me feel a little lighter. But as I think about tomorrow's training, my body aches just at the thought of it. She seems to notice my fatigue and brightens up with a sudden idea.
You know what? You've had a long day. Why don't we do something fun and relaxing? You deserve a break.
Sure. What do you have in mind?
How about we head to Windrise? It's peaceful there, especially at night. The wind is calm and you can see all the stars clearly.
That actually sounds really nice.
Great! Windrise it is. We'll take a walk, sit under the big tree, and let the cool breeze do its magic. Trust me, you'll feel recharged by the time we leave.
The thought of a quiet evening under the stars sounds exactly like what I need after the day I've had. Alright, let's go. Lead the way. By the time we reach Windrise, the towering tree comes into view, its leaves rustling softly in the wind. Amber grins, clearly pleased with her choice of location.
See? Peaceful, right?
I nod, taking in the serene atmosphere. The stars twinkle overhead, scattered across the vast sky, and the cool breeze brushes against my face, bringing a sense of calm I haven't felt before. Yeah, this is perfect, I admit, feeling the tension from the day slowly easing. We sit beneath the large tree, the soft grass cushioning us as we lean back to gaze at the stars. For a moment, everything is quiet and peaceful. I close my eye, letting it settle in. But then, a strange sensation tingles at the back of my neck. It's subtle, almost like a whisper carried on the wind, but enough to make me open my eye and glance around. I hear a voice, a sinister but smooth one cooing.
No.
Amber, do you think there are spirits here at Windrise? I asked quietly, my voice barely above a whisper as the eerie feeling lingers. Like something watching over this place. Or someone? She shakes her head.
Can't say I have. Why you ask?
I thought I heard something. I look over my shoulder, but there's nothing out of the ordinary. She shrugs.
Maybe it's the spirits of Night Vale. They say on the darkest nights, when the two moons align, the veil between worlds thins, and the spirits wander freely through Tevat.
She lifts her gaze at the sky, and I follow suit, my eye landing on the two moons she mentioned. Both full, one glowing a deep crimson and the other a rich violet. They hang in the vast expanse above us, casting an otherworldly glow over the night.
Come to think of it, Night Vale is only a day away. It makes sense why you could have heard something. What did it say?
Mine. Her expression changes from cheerful to concerned.
The Abyssal Archon.
I heard that name before. Diluc said that he was my husband before I came here.
He was.
She bites her lip.
In the Tevat creation myth, the Celestial Archon was alone and she watched over the world. Wanting a companion, she took a rib from herself and created the Abyssal Archon. From the moment he was born, they were bound to each other.
She pauses, eyes reflecting the glow of the twin moons.
As Tevat flourished, so did their bond, and in time, they were wed. Together, they brought forth the elemental Archons, their children, who would shape the nations we know today.
I listen to her intently. She stops for a moment, her fingers nervously crushing the edge of her bow.
But their relationship wasn't as perfect as the legends make it seem. The Abyssal Archon became obsessed with his wife, his love twisting into something possessive. He envied their children, resenting the way she shared her light with them. Eventually, it wasn't enough for him to simply stand by her side. He wanted more, all of her. So, in his desperation, he took matters into his own hands. He stole her light by completely swallowing her, trapping her light within the abyss itself.
Swallowed her? I repeat. This sounds very familiar. It seems like a cross between the Hellenistic creation myth and the Book of Genesis. Amber nods.
But the Celestial Archon was not so easily defeated. She may have been a pacifist, but she was also clever. The moment she realized what was happening, she did the only thing she could. She clung to the Abyssal Archon's throat, refusing to be consumed by the darkness. For centuries she remained there, trapped, her light just out of reach, yet never fully extinguished. No matter how much he tried to claim her entirely, a part of her always remained.
I lean back, her voice becoming quieter, more serious.
Over time, the Abyssal Archon grew weaker. He didn't understand why, but every time he felt her presence, he grew sick. He began to cough and wheeze, his strength draining with each passing century.
She traces the edge of her bow.
Then, in one moment of weakness, when the Abyssal Archon was at his most vulnerable, the Celestial Archon seized the opportunity. Her light was too strong, too powerful. Finally, the Abyssal Archon's body couldn't take it anymore. His cough became so forceful, so violent, that it expelled her from him in a great burst of energy. She fled Tevat and scoured the universe for shelter, and that's how she ended up on Earth.
She clenches her fists, as if she had witnessed a celestial and abyssal Archon story unfold with her own eyes. Almost like a painful memory rather than an ancient legend. She exhales slowly, the weight of the tale pressing down on her.
However, even after that, some say the Celestial Archon still loved her husband.
Love? I repeat. Why would anyone say that? She shifts into a different seating position.
They say the Celestial Archon was so pure that she didn't have an ounce of hatred in her heart.
Man, I wish I were that forgiving. But a wave of uneasiness bubbles inside me, and there's a tightness in my chest. A growing sense of dread I just can't shake. So if that was the Abyssal Archon talking to me a moment ago, I trail off. What does he want from me? I'm not the same person.
Actually, you are. But your memories are repressed.
My memories? She nods.
When you came to Earth, you crossed paths with its god, the one who took pity on you. He gave you shelter from the Abyssal Archon, but there was a cost. You were reborn as a mortal, stripped of your divinity, your memories erased.
A chill spreads through my body, but has nothing to do with the wind. I stiffen my fingers curling to my sleeves. God, the word alone makes my stomach twist. My relationship with the concept has always been complicated, tainted. I was told to pray when I needed something, yet no matter how desperately I called out, no one ever answered. I tried to convince myself there was a reason for it, some greater plan beyond my understanding. But how could I accept that when I was born into a world already broken? God curse me with a birth defect. What kind of divine being must be full of love and goodness would do that to an innocent baby before she had even taken her first breath? Resentment had long taken root in my heart, something I rarely talk about. And yet, what Amber was saying made sense. I wasn't from Earth to begin with, and of course I had to play by his god's rules. He had the power to strip me down to nothing, to mold me into something lesser. As I dwell on my religious trauma, one question looms in my mind. Earth isn't like Teyvat. Its gods don't walk among mortals, don't sit down or speak with them. Instead, they were shaped by human belief, and people have the freedom to accept or reject them. I believed in a god, but was the god I knew the same one Amber was talking about? She notices that I'm silent and looks at me with concern.
Are you okay?
I nod. Yeah, it's just a lot to take in. I had no idea God existed on Earth. I just thought they were figures that were created by religious leaders.
Every planet is ruled by a god. Teyvat is just different because our gods value freedom.
She explains. I see. There's just so much I have to learn about this place. About the universe. I don't understand. If I'm a goddess, how come I died?
Being a mortal on Earth was only temporary. You're still the powerful Celestial Archon, just with amnesia.
That explains why I don't know anything about magic. A dull ache pulses behind my temples as my thoughts race. Questions about my place in Teyvat. About the Abyssal Archon. About what the hell I'm supposed to do without my memories. And then, I hear it again. That voice. Low, cold, possessive. A shudder runs through me. I snap my head up, scanning the darkness around us, but there's no one there. Just the rustling of leaves and autumn breeze. So, the Abyssal Archon, how am I supposed to fight against him? I ask, chewing on my lip. Amber places a hand on my shoulder.
You are stronger than him. You're back in Teyvat now. You can defeat him.
But how? He's an Archon. An ancient powerful being who's been around for centuries, and I'm an Archon too, just with no idea how to use my magic. I don't even know what I'm doing here. How could I be stronger than him?
I know it's confusing. You've been thrust into this world with all this responsibility, and it's overwhelming. But just because he's been around longer doesn't mean he's stronger.
But I don't feel stronger. I only got here yesterday.
You'll remember how to use your magic soon. It takes practice, just like any other skill. It will come to you, I promise.
I want to believe her. I really do. She, and so many others, have placed their faith in me, looking at me like I'm something extraordinary, someone worth believing in, and I want to live up to that. I want to be the person they think I am, but beneath it all, I'm still tangled in doubt and confusion, unsure of where I stand in any of this. I decide to change the subject. So, how do you normally celebrate Night Vale? Amber looks at me, her eyes sparkling.
We celebrate with lanterns, music, and all kinds of spooky tales. Everyone decorates their homes with glowing lights and vegetables to keep the spirits at bay. Some even leave out offerings for the wandering souls, hoping to keep them happy.
Sounds like an Earth holiday. A Halloween. She grabs my hand with excitement.
Night Vale is my favorite holiday. Come with me. I can show you how my place is decorated.
We leave Windrise and make our way back to the city. We trail behind Amber, who practically bounces with every step. Her energy's infectious even after everything we've talked about. As we walk through the streets of Mondstadt, I begin to notice the decorations. Splashes of orange and black strung across the windows and archways, reminiscent of Halloween back on Earth. But the vibe here is different. Where Earth leans into spooky and sinister, Teva's version feels oddly cheerful. The ghost decorations smile instead of scowl, their tiny floating arms adorned with ribbons and glittering lanterns. We turn into a residential area and I catch sight of a house with pretty face cutouts in the windows. Others have arranged piles of assorted vegetables, turnips, squash, even cabbages. All painted with bright, happy expressions. It's festive, not frightening. So, what's the story behind that veil? Aside from the whole twin moons thing? I asked.
It goes all the way back to when Barbados was still the active Animo Archon. There was this farmer who kept getting harassed by evil spirits, like real nasty ones bothering its family night after night. He was terrified, so he went to see a psychic medium.
Amber gestures animatedly as she walks.
The medium told him there were two things evil spirits couldn't stand: happiness and vegetables.
I raise a brow. Vegetables?
Yup. So that night, when the spirits came creeping back, the farmer did something wild. He started laughing. Loud, joyful belly laughs. And his wife, she chucked potatoes at them.
I blink. Potatoes?
Right at their faces. The ghosts freaked out and ran off. Then their neighbor had a haunting. So the farmer shared a secret, and it just kind of spread from there.
She explains. I can't help but giggle. Really? So I guess that explains the happy carrot decorations. She gives a proud nod.
Pretty much.
The thought of an evil spirit being scared of onions is hilarious. Wow, Earth's traditions aren't that quirky.
There is actually a Night Vale festival tomorrow. We should go together. Jean, Lisa, and Kyle will be there too. You should invite D-Luke.
I shake my head. I'm not sure if he would want to. He seems like he's scared of happiness.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky and see him crack a smile. I mean, I have seen it once or twice. But it's kind of like spotting a unicorn. Rare and almost mythical.
I chuckle, imagining D-Luke in the middle of a festival surrounded by people laughing and dancing. It's such a ridiculous image I can't help but smile. I continue to follow her, and I'm fascinated by the strange Night Vale displays. But just as I start to lose myself in the festive atmosphere, that voice returns.
9,